Hey there, it's CJ Miller. I'm walking around downtown Shreveport. We're across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. I love to take walks at night before I go in and chill out. Don't mind getting a little sweaty on these walks. It's part of my physical routine that also is part of my diet routine that I talk about. Um, and I walked yesterday and put a video up. When I got home, I made a large salmon fillet, and I'll have some of that right around midnight. Uh, cool. When I do something like that, then it's like, hey, I know I don't have to worry about cooking food for a couple of days, and because it's already uh, what the fats that come with the fish, like a salmon, uh, are healthy fats. And so, of course, they do recommend about, you can do about 2 servings per week. Not me. I'm a single person. That means I got to do like the whole fillet. So I don't always have salmon, but because if I did that, I'd be living on nothing but salmon. But anyway, yeah, pretty much stayed right at uh, my budget of 50 grams uh, within a 24-hour period of carbs. I think I went like 1 or 2 grams over today because I just came back from a local venue, Gamers XP. We every once in a while we get bored. We're not like super geeks, but my buddy and I, we went and we played Dungeons and Dragons for about 3.5 hours. And the reason why we played for 3.5 hours is because we paid uh, for the 3.5 hours. Otherwise, we would have maybe played for about 2 hours. But yeah, it was great. It was great. It was fun. And you never know who you're going to play with when you go to this venue. Uh, I'm not so into it that I have all the pieces and I invite people over to the house and we set up campaigns that last for weeks or anything like that. We just do. I call it the Monopoly Junior version, where you just go in and you play something that you wrap up in one sitting. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a little hobby. Uh, Not something that I do every week, but once a month or so, get together and go there. And if it's not Dungeons and Dragons, then we end up trying to play another game. Uh, we like simple games. We don't like games that are like uh, overly complex because, I mean, really? I mean, what's the point? If you have a game that has like even a role play game, but like where you have like power infinitum, and everybody has every gift and it's like, what's the point? Where's the adventure? Where's the point? You've got to have your character. There's got to be some risk. There's got to be some vulnerability. Some people have to, and you go in a quest as a group. That's fine, but also, yeah, throw a little danger into it, uh, and up the risk when uh, that in this game, the creator of the game is going to kill their darlings. That anyone can croak, anyone can die. That's yeah, you know, that's that's awesome. So have fun with it. It's not real anyway, but when there's no risk to anybody, it's like, okay, well, we know how this is going to go. But this is cool because there's people of all ages. Uh, the DM, the dungeon master at our table, uh, was playing, and one of the players was his 8-year-old grandson. So it is kind of an all ages kind of thing, and it's really kind of fun. Uh, just to get out and do something different. Like I said, I don't see myself doing it every week or whatever, but every so often go in and join something. I don't have the personal commitment to. I was telling my friend Jay as we were coming back, I don't have the personal commitment to uh, join a storyline or a campaign that lasts weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. Whatever. Like I'll get to a point and I'll just like turn my weapons on myself. Anyway, and I'm a novice on that. And then I bought my ticket to GeekCon. So look forward in the next week or so. Not next week, but the week after. Not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. I'll be posting videos from GeekCon, which is it's almost like a Comic-Con convention. As a matter of fact, the first one was called Comic-Con, and it was held in Bossier City. And oh my God, it was raining. I remember this like it was just yesterday. I had a roommate at the time. I was subletting part of his house, so we went together, and it was raining. There was a line wrapped. How long was this line? From as far as you can see from here to the river. And the line was longer than that to get into this Comic-Con. They really underestimated the local interest. I mean, we were starved for something like that. But it was in Bossier. It was at the Bossier Convention Center, which was a kind of a small venue too. So yeah, after that, they started hosting it at the Shreveport Convention Center, and they called it GeekCon. And it wasn't just about comics. It's about gaming. It's about anything and everything. For instance, last year they had the people from the original Scream franchise, most of the stars and actors, along with some other things. This year, they are hosting most of the people from the Askew Viewverse, which is Kevin Smith, Kevin Muse, just all of them, just the whole franchise thing, And I was telling my nephew, if you can get a chance to watch Clerks 3 before you go, it's actually pretty relevant. A lot of times it's silly, but underneath the silliness and underneath the slackerness of it all, it's a relevant story. The fact that they have followed these characters throughout various stages and ages of their lives, it's like their perspective is different, So that's kind of cool. Because I still have that thing, that youthful mind, with the awareness that time passes, and as time passes, it things change in the world and with the self. So the changing of an innocent point of view into the point of view of that of experience, and it gradually happens in the Askewverse. I think it's just a natural thing. So what started out as Clerks, it was the Clerks, if you don't know, came out in the 1990s, and it was the definitive movie about slackers. There was a TV show called Slackers, or movie or something like that, or something that kind of played on that, but really what defined that was this movie Clerks. And then everything just kind of built around after that. So it's cool. And so it's a different perspective. Actually, the flatness of some of the delivery of Jay's character as a side character. Jay and Silent Bob were side characters, and it was their first film. But the flatness of it, as compared to later versions, I actually prefer, so because it's it was a lot less zany, but anyway, yeah. And it was a pretty realistic view of what employees in a store might do, clerks, what their day might be like, you know. So anyway, and so they kind of get away from that and get into character development in the later films. But they're coming at this GeekCon, like the whole damn everybody that survived the franchise, basically. Oh, and then you know who's going to be there? I think I may have talked about it, and I'm excited for this. Particularly, my favorite Superman of in my time was Brandon Routh, and that's only because Christopher Reeve is no longer with us, but Brandon Routh was playing that version in Superman Returns, and of course he got to reprise a version of the character, the Kingdom Come version of Superman, as they would say, which is basically, you know, that story, the Richard Donner franchise. And then of course, yeah, anyway, of course later entries were in that particular franchise were directed by other people. But yeah, even the fourth one, Superman Quest for Peace, would have been a good movie had it had budget and had some of the effects had not been outdated. You know, it's not as bad as people give it credit for, though. It was a very creative character, the Nuclear Man, and it kind of did bring back Lex Luthor into the role of the maniacal villain behind everything. Whatever. So anyway, but so Brandon Routh in Superman Returns played a continuation of that character and did a great job, and I kind of preferred it over hate to say it, the DCEU. It was never officially the DCEU, but it was like the DC Expanded Universe is what the fans called the latest iteration of DC, before they started to explore the idea that every DC property was connected and part of the same multiverse. And so what we have coming and that's being produced now is the DCE, the DCU, the DC universe in general. And the universe means multiverse. And then there are some side projects that are going to be called DC Elsewhere. But it's understood and explained that yes, they're still part of the same DC continuity. They're just in different corners of the multiverse that do not take place specifically or connect to the DC universe. That's, you know, stuff that's being produced. So the Batman movies, you know, the darker Batman movies, and then the Joker movies, they take place in DC Elsewhere, but there is a standalone Batman movie called Batman the Brave and the Bold, which I think will be a live action, and that's coming in a couple of years. But that will be a different version of Batman. So there is room for this sequel to the Batman. I'm going to walk down here for a second where it's going to get dim, but I'm going to walk back into the light on the river for a second. So you can tell I'm excited for this because I'm going to get to meet Brandon Routh, who's in DC. He's a DC legend as far as I'm concerned, because in Legends of Tomorrow, he played the Atom, and that was a recurring character in some of the Arrowverse shows also. So the Arrowverse, you may know, that was on the CW. There would be no CW if it weren't for Smallville. But Smallville was not specifically part of the Arrowverse. But yeah, it kind of prefaced it, kind of tonal. I think of it as, yes, it is, except this Superman character played by a different actor. So go figure. Anyway, but they were the first ones to explore the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline, which was pivotal in DC history. So I'm a big, huge geek for DC Comics. My regular followers on this channel, they know that, because I won't shut up talking about it. So let me get to some light. So you see, I've walked from my apartment, from where we were. I was on one end of downtown, and then I walked over. It took maybe like 15-16 minutes, and I moved pretty fast when I talk. Broke out a sweat, so I'll spend some time chilling on the boardwalk. I'll go look at the bridge, and then I'll walk home. And then when I get home, I'll have some salmon and chill out for a little bit, and then then I will, you know, I don't know. I'm still very nocturnal. I'm still up late hours at night. But it's like I do go to bed earlier than I used to. And when I say early, I mean early tomorrow morning. But it's about 10:30 now by my time in my head. So about an hour and a half from now, it'll be the next day anyway. So whatever. But yeah, I still keep weird hours. But it's really important that I get out and do physical activity. It's really important that I maintain my diet. It's also really important for my for everybody's mental and emotional well-being, for maintenance of it, that you find enjoyment, a passionate enjoyment in your hobbies that you love, that give you some sort of recreation. Because without that, then life is but a chore and but survival. And if you had the means to find amusement and happiness, you should do that. And of course, you know, it's really important to take care of responsibilities that each of us have, and they're maybe a little different from each person's situation from one to the next. But don't forget to also take time for yourself. Although, as you're taking time for yourself, don't get so wrapped up in taking care of yourself that you forget that we're here as a species, human species, because it's a human community, that we're meant to interact and be a part of life with each other, you know, and we're our best selves when we are with each other, if that makes any sense. I hope some people follow what I'm saying. So it's really, really great to take care of the self, but yeah, it's really good to also be with other people. I enjoy my private time. I enjoy that my time is my own, but I also love sharing my time with other people in recreation and in times when I need to show up to be of support or service. I enjoy that also. So, God, this river, man, it's beautiful. It's like, why is this truck always here? This truck, it's the official truck of the aquarium. I just now noticed the logo. I just noticed that when I'm down here, it's like, why is that truck always there? This is a view that I've had several times. See, I do break out when, you know, and glistening sweat, and it does aggravate my skin, make me break out like a teenager. I wish that I still had the energy that I had when I was a teenager. That, God, I was everywhere, like all over the map. But that's something else too. Playing this Dungeons and Dragons, and there's people of all ages, and you realize, oh my God, teenagers are lame, but they don't have the insight to know that they're lame. But you know they're going to grow out of it and become you know, whole people. But yeah, they're still developing. And it's like, oh my God, now I get it. Now I get it. When I was a teenager, I was stupid. Not intellectually stupid, but uh, insightfully stupid. So, although in my situation, and we all have our little uniquenesses and acceptances, when when I was a teenager, there was a lot of heavy stuff going on with the family. Like my parents were getting divorced for real this time, for and then so my dad and my sister who was of age, they moved into a two-bedroom apartment, and the apartments were where my dad managed, and then so it was me and my mom, and then that became, I love my mom, but it became a little, you know, ah, kind of she and I against the world kind of thing, or whatever. I don't know, it's weird. So, and then it was like, what else? Delving into CJ's psychology. Uh, that was also the time that I started to find and explore different types of avenues, different ways of life, everything like that. It wasn't just this fundamental Baptist uh, way of life that I'd been taught, but there are other ideals to consider and choose from. So it was very formative, you know, thankfully, because if that were the only path that I had, then I would have no hope. Because I couldn't totally get in line with everything. So, but not to talk about or tell what other people what to believe. I'm just talking about my experience there. So it was kind of cool. Why did I get into this? Oh yeah, talking about being a teenager. So yeah, I was. I'm aware. I'm aware that that these events were kind of being going into the person that I was going to become, and some of it good, some of it bad. Some of the events and some of the actions, some of my reactions to those actions. But overall, looking back, I'm happy with the way things have worked out, uh, and I can find compassion in the confused uh, people in these conventions and these Gamers XP and these other places, these younger people, knowing that they're not the people that they're going to be all the time, which is kind of cool. So if you encounter someone and this is just a generalized kind of way, if you encounter someone and you don't feel that they strike you in an agreeable way at this particular moment, have no fret, because sometime later they won't be the same person and you won't be the same person, and who knows, maybe you'll get along with them then. Anyway, I gotta head back down. I'm on Texas Street now. I'm under the bridge. I'm gonna head back to my apartment. I love you guys, really, and I mean this. I don't like all these heavy shadows, what they do to my face. I like being into a brighter light. Much kinder. Here we go. Love and light. Peace. Good night.